You are now locked in to the Sitting Down with the Sisters podcast.
Hi guys, welcome back. It's summer. It's shining. We in our shorts. We in our shorts because it's sunny outside. Yeah, it's heat wave in London right now.
Heat wave.
Anyway, yeah, it's a heat wave. Today I think it's like going up to like 29 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's mad.
Next week yesterday,
it's 31.
yesterday was meant to be a heat wave as well,
Yeah,
but was it that hot?
Tell me, it was hot.
boiling
I was
yesterday.
sweating. But yeah, welcome back, guys, to another episode of Sitting Down with the Sisters. We are your hosts. I'm Ashley.
I'm Ayo.
And I'm Temi.
You know what it is. You should already know who's who by now.
Period.
Yeah, today's episode, it feels like we haven't been here in a while.
I know. We kind of have we?
Yeah, we kind of haven't been here in a while. We're getting close to the end of the season. So after this episode drops, we have one more.
And
but it's a very, very, very special one with people that we hold very dear to
Why
our
are you
heart.
spoiling it?
But they're not going to know who it is.
I'm taking it out.
They're not going to know who it is from that.
Not them fighting over.
Joe, I can't hear in the headphones, by the way. But yeah, so this is our second to last episode, as Ashley was saying. It's fine. You can carry on.
Okay.
This is our second to last. Perfect. Thank you, darling. This is our second to last.
Oh, Jesus. It wasn't that one, it was this one.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Josie.
But yeah, this is our second to last episode of the season. It's been a long season this year because we've not been consistent. And I know you guys know, but we're sorry in it. Life has happened.
Thank you for the support as well that you guys have shown.
Always.
Like, even though we haven't been as consistent as we've wanted to be, the way you guys have showed up for us anyway, like
Powerful.
the people who've commented, subscribed.
I think this has actually been our biggest season in terms of reach.
Yes.
Because obviously this season,
That's
if you're
crazy.
aware, we've gone
That's
viral
crazy, but I'm not
a
surprised
couple of times on TikTok.
We're only getting better.
We're only getting better.
We're getting better. We can't just get it one time. Yeah.
So as you guys know, we like to take a little break between our seasons. So we'll probably be back at the end of summer, like autumn time, with fresh new content for you guys. So as you're enjoying your summer, we too will be enjoying our summer.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Amen, hallelujah.
We're gonna have a good time always in London.
Right.
So
wait, just before you say what you want to say, make sure you're following us on all our social media platforms. That's SDWTS podcast everywhere. Make sure you're subscribed, because a lot of you watch us when you're not subscribed. We see the analytics. We've told you this before. And make sure every time that you like the video just before you watch. And if you're on Spotify, review our podcast. If you're on Apple Podcasts, review the podcast. Hallelujah.
Next season, I'm stating names of who's watching and who's not.
She keeps
subscribing.
saying she's going to do it, and she has not done it.
I said this season I'm taking a break, but next season I'm coming back full force, because some of you're not listening. So today's episode, it was actually our lovely Ayo here. Oh, someone at the door.
Who's at the door?
Outside the door.
Guys, stop.
It was actually
Timmy. Now silent.
Timmy.
Sorry,
why
so
is
silent.
Somebody knock on the door, you don't answer. Anyways,
I'll beat you, Ashley.
oh no, now don't do that.
So yeah,
this topic was actually sent in by our lovely
Ayo. So I'll just
Powerful.
I'll take it away.
You go into
So
it.
I was just thinking this morning when I was chilling at home, and I was like, what could we talk about today? Because we like to talk about things that just come to our minds. We don't like to heavily plan it because we just want to be free flowing. You know the vibes. So I was just thinking to myself. So I think I was listening to something. I was listening to a video. I was watching a video on YouTube, and these two girls were talking about something. And then a girl said on her YouTube video, she was like, she doesn't believe that there's such a thing as right person, wrong timing. And I was like, what do I think about that? Do I believe in right person, wrong time? Do I not believe in it? And what are my thoughts and opinions? I'm sure everybody's heard that term before, right person, wrong timing. And I just wanted to hear the girls' opinions on the topic. So that's our topic for today. What is you girls' opinion on the topic or the phrase, right person, wrong time?
Right person. Do you know, I've been up and down with that one, because I've had moments where I've believed that. Like I 100% wholeheartedly believe that exists. But sometimes I've been like, nah, I don't think that exists. So I've not really ever had like a stable answer to that phase.
I'm similar, I think.
Yeah, I'm literally the exact same. I think there's moments where I've been like, yeah, I agree with that statement. Not even from personal experience, but more so like when I have conversations with other people and where they're at mentally, physically, just everything, and it's out of their control essentially, and they can't be who they know the person that they're interested in deserves or needs them to be. It's not the timing, and I get it. But then on the flip side as well, the reason why I'm up and down and I don't agree with the statement is because if that person, and this is going to sound so harsh, and it's not to take away from anybody or that you're not good enough for the person, or you're not you're not good enough for the person, but if they were the right person, would
it be the wrong time?
You would kind of not. You would. How can I say it?
You're trying to say that you'd make the effort to ensure.
Right.
It's the right time.
You would. Yeah. Exactly. You would make it the right time. Right. You would do what you need to do to ensure that everything in your life and everything around you keeps that person in your life if they were really the right person. Does that make sense?
Interesting view.
I don't know.
Sometimes when people use it in their specific situations that I've heard of, the reason why it's not completely like a yes or no for me is because some situation and context that some people have used it in, like when they explain the relationship and just everything, I'm just like, I don't know if you can use that as not an excuse, but I don't know if you can use that in that situation.
Could you elaborate?
For example, if someone's like, oh yeah, I don't know, like Ashley said, if someone's really busy and they have priorities and other things, like let's say someone sat here and they told me their life stories, like they're so busy, this is that. I don't know how to explain it, but I kind of would gauge whether this person is the right person for you, because really and truly, if they are, the things that you're saying right now, if you listen to it, you can make time, you can do this, you can do that.
It's all, they kind of use that as an excuse, like a gateway.
And it's all, and at the end of the day, I feel like sometimes people need to hear this. It's all right if they're not the right person.
Wow. That's my point exactly.
But the right person. How can it be the right person but the wrong time? Then that's not the right person. That's how I see it. I know I'm trying not to be so black and white with it and just be so, do you know what I mean?
And see the whole spectrum.
Right. So if someone is, personally, for you to call someone the right person, it means that, I don't know, things
your person.
Don't get it twisted. Just because they're the right person doesn't mean it's perfect. Of course,
it's going to be easy.
Yeah, it's going to be rocky, of course. Every relationship, we're humans, we're complicated beings. But right person, wrong timing.
See, my perspective, is I see the reason I think people love to use the term is because it's very circumstantial. When you're in that relationship or you're in that situation, you feel that way, and so the narrative of they're the right person though, it's just the wrong time. It's very emotive for you. Like you feel it in your heart because you don't want it to be the wrong time. Right. You want it to be the right time. But I feel like when you then step away from that relationship, you realize probably wasn't the right person. That's what I'm saying. It's all right for it not to be the right person. It just was. And I do you know what it is? It reminds me of the whole argument of how I feel like a lot of women, when we're growing and developing into the women we want to be, we're able to multitask both nurturing a relationship and doing all our life stuff, our career stuff. We're able to do both at the same time. While for a lot of men, they'll come into your life and be like, I need to focus on my career, so I can't really be in a relationship with you. Right. And I feel like in a lot of those circumstances, it's actually because they don't realize they can balance the two. They think they need to be this finished article, or at least closer to their finished article than
that breaks a lot of relationships.
It breaks down a lot of relationships, or it doesn't allow you to give the chance to a relationship that you should have, because you genuinely feel as though you can't do both at the same time. But think about this, if you're going to spend the rest of your life with somebody, there's never going to be a time when you're not going to need to work on yourself. Right. There's always going to be, do you know what I mean? There's
going to be one thing or another. Always. That's a cycle of life.
Always going to be things that come up that require you to look within and like level up.
Yeah. And
are you going to say you're going to put your marriage on pause because
I was going to say,
I need to go and do,
if you're someone that potentially does want to get married one day, as a man or woman that has that mindset, you have to think long term, in a sense where when other things are happening during marriage, what are you then going to do?
How am I going to balance this? Like, how am I going to deal with it? And then are you always going to put your partner on the back burner? Yeah. And kind of almost,
I've had this conversation and people would say, but obviously because I'm not married now, of course it's a lot easier to do these things. Like I can focus on myself, like I don't need to, prioritize. Fair enough. But when the question I'm throwing out is, when you do get to that point where you are married, then what would you do?
What were you gonna
Like
say
in
then?
all
Because
seriousness,
even
what
that
would you do?
argument is
Because then you
flawed.
can't say right person, wrong time,
When
and
you're
then
married.
And it's
Yeah.
flawed as well, because if you're unable to do it now, who's to guarantee that you're going to be able to do it when you're
Very
married?
good point.
Because a lot of people think that when they get married and it's the right person, all of a sudden you're going to be able to do everything right. You're going to be able to navigate everything. You're automatically going to know how to do everything. When really and truly you put in the work now, like you said, if you're someone who you know you want to get married, you put in that work now, so that when you do get married, it's not now something where you're like, oh, actually, wait, I don't know how to balance everything, and you're going to be stuck.
And what I'm about to say is also me speaking to myself. I feel like, I don't know if it's our generation or just how people are in general these days, the idea of marriage we just see as such a perfect thing that we
It's
don't
like
want to
you're in,
tarnish, or we
Great
don't want to,
point.
like, we want to work hard to make sure that everything's great and all these things, and which at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with it, because that's such a good thing. Because when you want something so bad, you know, you'll do everything to make it work out properly. So that's not bad. But then what we do is we then forget that marriage is also a part of life. Marriage is a relationship between two people. Two people are like they're ever growing, complicated. Anything can happen along the way. So I feel like, of course, we should always hold marriage up to a certain hierarchy. It's such a sacred thing, but at the same time, that's why I feel like a lot of people are struggling right now,
1,000,000%.
because they cannot get themselves to understand that. You honestly, like, I've like I said, I'm saying this to myself as well. Like, you just, I don't want to say go with the flow, but just like any other thing in life, you just have to take it as that. Like, you literally just have to
Live in the moment.
yeah, don't put too much pressure on it, because when you do, that's when you start to overthink, and before you know it, you look around, it's like, oh, okay, like there's no potential there for me to, do you know what I mean? There's nothing. I've missed the opportunity is kind of gone now, and God forbid we're in that situation, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I wanted to tap into what you said. I think there's this horrible narrative going around that once it's the right person, it's perfection. From the beginning of that relationship, everything is rosy, everything is beautiful, and then that's what makes them the right person. And I think that's where the whole right person, wrong time can stem from too, because it's like, oh, it's not yet perfect, so it's the wrong time. But it's that, like, no. That's like,
not how
even
it
when you
works.
get to, like, say, for instance, the age we're at, we're 25, we want to be in more established relationships that make sense, intentional relationships that are leading somewhere. Yes, okay, we're more mature, so we should be operating better in relationships. That still doesn't mean that the relationship is going to be perfect. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have hiccups. It doesn't mean you're not going to have to work at it. And I think a lot of people hate the narrative that relationships take work. I personally believe, if when it comes to marriage and when it comes to familial relationships in general, so your siblings, your parents, whatever, those are the things you should work out the hardest, because they're the relationships that mean the most to you.
Right.
So why would they seem like the things that shouldn't take work? Why should they seem
Or
like
they'll be
fairy
the
tale
easiest.
relationships? I personally think marriage, like, there's a guy that I follow on Instagram. He he's a Christian, and he has like a beautiful perspective on like how families are meant to look in the kingdom perspective. Like, as a Christian, it's like you work the hardest at your marriage, because that's the relationship that reflects the relationship between Jesus and human beings. You want that to be the best relationship you have in your life, the same way you want the relationship with your family to be the best one. So it's not that it's the wrong time, it's probably just you don't want to put in the time to ensure that relationship. And obviously, it doesn't mean you should always keep around people just because you think they're the right person. Sometimes it is, as Temi said, it's the wrong person. So you really shouldn't be exerting all your energy anyway.
so then if it's the wrong person, obviously you can't use that whole right time in the wrong context, you know what I mean? But what
I don't think it's actually I don't think they are actually the right person then, because you know what the right person actually means.
What does it mean?
If you're calling someone the right person, that
like
means
the
they
person
tick all
for
your
you.
boxes. They're for you. They're your person. They're someone that you see you spending the rest of your life with. They're just everything that you imagined.
And you're just willing to let that go because
and
it's
you're
the
willing to
wrong
let
time.
that go because of time.
Can I
Then
say
they're
something?
not the right person.
In other words, in a nutshell, we're basically saying if two people want to be together, regardless of what's around, you'll be together.
You'll be together.
So let's look on the flip side, because obviously we're saying all these things. On the flip side now, what would you say in regards to, let's say, a person or two people aren't together anymore because of this whole right timing and right person, wrong timing, and the reason for that is because of age, for example. Like, let's say they were younger, and they dated, whatever, and you know, they didn't really know much about life, whatever, but they were good together, whatever. Like, it could potentially have developed into something, but it didn't. Now they're older again, and if they did potentially get back together, I'm sure it will be probably the right person. But would you say then would you then use the context right person, wrong timing?
think, see, that's why I'm not hard or fast with it, because I genuinely do think that can exist. I genuinely think that can happen. I think, say for instance, you started dating someone when you was 15.
Right.
And then you go off to uni at 18,
right.
maybe 19, you realise, wait, we've been dating since we were 15.
Because a lot of people are like that. Like, I've heard that quite often.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, I probably need this separation from this person to see if we come back together. Like, because when you become an adult, it's not that you can't grow with somebody. Obviously, when you get married, you're going to grow with that person until you die, like, by God's grace. So there's going to be those ever-changing cycles of life. But when you're 15 and who you're at 20, they're different people.
Completely different.
And so if you was dating someone at 15 and you said, okay, at 19, you want to maybe go and take some time out and then rekindle it maybe later, I don't think that's bad. I think that in that context, right person, wrong time could actually be.
So basically, in other words, right context, wrong timing is a thing.
Yeah, right person, wrong time. It can be a thing. I think the only reasons I disagree with when people use it is when they're using it to excuse bad behavior.
Yes.
So say for instance,
that's my point.
You as a person are saying it's the wrong time, but that's because you're unwilling to be forgiving, you're unwilling to be selfless, you're unwilling to really give to the needs of the relationship. Then it's not that it's the wrong time, it's you are the wrong person for that person because you're not willing to put in the work. But it's different if, for instance, as a human being, you need that time to grow as a human, and you need that separation time because you've been dating since you was 15 years old. Me, who I was at 15 and who I am at 25, if I was the same person this whole time, it would have been a joke.
It would be alarming.
10 years ago.
I'm saying if I was with the same person.
Oh no, but I don't even know.
I don't know if I would even have been able to give myself the opportunity to grow as a person. If I was with the same, like I'm saying, people definitely do it and it works. But if I think about me, Ayo, who I was at 15 and who I am now at 25 years old.
Being with that, like, imagine just being with the same person throughout.
I can understand a break I can understand the need for a break. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, absolutely. And I think what you said was right in terms of just when it's used as an excuse, because a lot of, not men but people anyway, a lot of people do that where really, and I really want to be careful because I'm not taking away from whatever it is that they're doing and, you know, their hard work and what they're trying to focus on, but a lot of the time, if we're being completely vague and I'm sorry, if we're being completely blunt and honest, it is an excuse. It really is, because maybe it's just not your priority right now. You can just say that. Yeah, that's fine.
And I think people
don't say right person, wrong timing. It's not even wrong timing. I'm like, it's all right for someone not to be a priority.
Do you know what that does indirectly as well? I feel like a lot of people use that and hang it over people's heads, because, you know, if you say that, the other person will subconsciously wait. The other person will say, okay, it's the wrong timing now, but
manipulation.
say like maybe in 3 months or 6 months, like if I just stick around and show, you know, that I'll ride it out and whatnot, then eventually it could be the right timing. Yeah. And what I find anyway, from what I've seen, what happens 9 out of 10 times is that they'll either meet someone else, and like someone new will come along, and that person, you find them in a relationship. Wow. Or like it gets
so they were never the right person.
It gets to a point where they like it never gets, the right timing never comes.
It's almost a way of doing time wasting in a relationship, like what you said. Because say for instance you break up now because you're in the whole name of right person, wrong time. Oh, like, we need time to become who we need to be. There's someone in that dynamic that is hoping in their heart that you guys get back together, whilst the other, like, or that you guys fix it now. And so they'll continue to put their love life on hold for however long, because they're believing right person, wrong time. Right person, wrong time.
I'm who he needs. I'm
his baby girl. I'm his wife. And do you know what it is? It's a disservice to both people. Because one person at the dynamic could go out there, sow their wild oats, have 10,000 girlfriends, have 10,000 boyfriends, have, you know, gone to Ibiza, you've gone to Malaysia, you've gone to Australia, while the other person has remained in London reading their book, or because they believe that person is coming back to them.
I'm the person for them. I'm their person. They told me I'm the right person.
And that's why I don't believe in there only being one person for you in this world.
I agree.
Because that concept in itself just defeats the object.
You know, that's such a dangerous mindset.
It just defeats the object of free will that we were given. It defeats the object that you can grow and become a different person. Like, I don't know how to explain it. How the hell can you believe that? Billions.
How can we? Like, I want to know, guys, in the comments, if you believe that, can you justify why you believe that? Because I want to know. I want to know, because
I've heard justifications. Can I give you one?
Yes, please.
One of the justifications I've heard is that, okay, the same way God was intentional about making us and has an intention for all of our lives, why is he not, how do you know he's not intentional about the person that he wants you to be with?
Because we see examples of it all the time. It happens all the time.
Well, he used to say so that means he's only intentional one way in one person.
You're putting God in a box. I personally think if you look at God and the way he designed human beings, the fact that he gave us free will is the same way I think he wants us to use that free will with wisdom. The same way he doesn't tell us what job he wants us to have. He doesn't tell us what clothes to wear
out, what shoes to wear out.
Yeah, you can ask for his influence and he'll always give his opinion.
Guidance,
he's your friend,
absolutely.
he's your father, he's not a legislative, he's not a legislative person in that way. Yes, there's things he expects of us, which is different from...
Wait, sorry guys, just to confirm, so people do believe there's one person?
Of course.
Yeah. So quick question then, to piggyback off of
English.
that.
Sorry.
So then, what if now, God forbid, say people who've been married or like they've met their soulmate,
Exactly.
or whatever,
Can they never remarry?
The person passes away. Does that now mean that God has not
Of
created
course not.
someone else?
God has
Of course
taken
not,
the
because the
person.
same
Because if you're using that argument, you have to use that argument
On a broad
consecutively.
spectrum.
Because the
It's
same-
not pick and choose. Oh, that if the person passed away, then God, no.
Because the same people that hold that viewpoint or that perspective on life are the same people that would encourage that person, if their spouse was to pass, to go and remarry. So you can't wholeheartedly believe there's only one person in the whole.
It doesn't
entire world for you.
exist.
It doesn't work.
So you think out of that, like, of course it happens. No one's saying it doesn't happen. Do you know how many people in the world? Do you think you're going to find that one person?
Exactly. Because if there's one person for you in the world, how do you know they're in London?
Sorry, how do you know they're alive?
Oh, okay. As in, how do you know that
No,
something
I'm not-
didn't happen to them when they were living in Pakistan? I just want to know.
Do you get why it's a bit weird?
Yeah, no, okay, if anyone believes that, like, can you...
Please put it in the
We're
comments.
not even, like, shaming
it's a very interesting concept. Like, I just want to know why.
Process.
And I feel like a lot of people justify it because obviously when the way people think what people think of love and just the way their idea of love and their mindset when it comes to love, maybe they're hopeless romantic and they just believe, like, do you know what I mean? That exists where it's just like, no, there's just that one person for me. There's just
for me.
And that's just the way they think, and that's fair enough. But
I just think that's a bit.
Do you think
it's not
that there's
realistic.
a certain limit then on?
You're not realistic.
You're not allowing yourself to have a good
You're
life.
not realistic.
So on the flip end,
unfortunately, you're not realistic.
You're not open.
realistic.
Exactly. On the flip end, for us who believe that there is more than one person, is there a certain amount, or
I just think
like because
do you know why it's already. How do I put it? It's already, there is definitely a certain amount because you just can't marry any, like, you're not compatible with everybody.
no
So
number.
that's already limited your options anyway.
So then what if someone...
There's no specific number.
Yeah.
So then what if it's more, say if you meet someone and they say it's more than 10, and they genuinely believe like every single person.
But do you know what I will find in that? All 10 of them cannot be on the same spectrum. There'll be one thing about one person that you probably wish the other had that didn't have, or this one. Have you heard of that before? Where women are like, oh, I wish I could take different aspects of guys I've seen and build my.
all in one.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So that will be the case.
Bob
Men
the builder.
say it too.
Build a bed.
Men say it too. So I don't believe all 10 people. Like, I'm sorry. If anyone out there has 10 potential and you could potentially marry any 10 of them, your personality must be A1. Like, you must be. There has to be.
I think I disagree.
Why?
Yeah, I think you can have 10 potentials and you'd work with all 10 of them.
All like you can have 10 potentials and you will.
1,000,000%. Do you know why?
I don't know about
because
that.
I think we forget how diverse and how many people there are in the world. There's so many men you could come across that could be on your wavelength.
I'm not
And you could make
disputing
a
that.
relationship work. Also, sorry, I wanted to touch on something before we go because this topic is really good. But I wanted to, you know, the hopeless romantic thing. I think I'm not hopeless in Jesus' name.
I'm a hopeful
romantic. I personally, I'm a fairy tale babe.
Yeah,
I love love,
But I feel
but I have perspective. I'm
Yeah,
not blind.
I feel like you're still realistic.
Yeah, I'm realistic, but
some people are just not on that
and that's
level.
where you lose it. But anyway, on the topic of what we're saying, I actually do believe there could be 10 potential men in this world that all 10 of them.
Let's
if
say
I
in
met
this
them-
London,
London is small, Tim.
it can happen, no?
That's too small. I'm saying 10 people in the world.
Okay, fair.
Like,
in the
if you think
world,
about it, there's 10 men you could meet,
Sorry, I
and
was
all of
thinking
them
on
you could marry.
a smaller scale.
Oh yeah, no, if you're thinking
we're
just
talking about the world,
London,
yeah,
then obviously
then
that's a bit
that's
Of course, if you're talking about, of course, I can agree to
Yeah,
that. But
100%.
in this small London here, 10 potential guys that you could
In
potentially
London.
marry.
I even think there's potential. I actually think so. Let's say England.
Huh.
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm half and half, you know.
Do you know there will be something
But
that
what's your
can't...
reasoning that you can't work with the 10?
Maybe because I'm just a bit too specific.
About what you want?
About what I want.
Or even just then, okay,
I don't
my question
know.
would then be those 10 people, so they're all the right person.
That's
because
what we're saying.
you know,
We're saying
okay,
there's not one right
you know,
person,
I'm 25, guys. We're 25 years old, so we've actually lived 25 years, and in my 25 years, I can't say that.
This
Of
is
course,
a good
there's
point
been potential. I'm not saying that, but I can't really say, oh my god, like this person has ticked all my like.
Yes.
Don't get twisted. There's been potential in a sense where you've probably met someone you could marry.
Yeah.
You know, potentially, but imagine that 10 times. We're only 25, and you think
I don't think there's any human that can tick all your boxes. It's impossible.
yes, I'm not disputing that, but so close enough that there's 10 of them.
Yes.
Oh, me personally, I don't think so.
I don't think there
I
can
actually
be.
think it depends how you view compatibility.
Because
But then it goes back to my original statement of what the right person actually means.
It means.
So
But
all
then-
10 people, you see all
they
10
could
of
be
them,
the right people, all 10 of them.
But then that's-
potentially
doesn't that
spending
then-
the rest of
You
their
know, I
life
find
with
it hard
them.
to even have conversations sometimes with people. You think I'm gonna 10 people that will be potential.
But then you guys saying, okay, but how we're saying right person
In
then
this
that means-
England
that means
aisle.
you're streamlining that there's only one person then.
No, I'm not
No,
saying that, but I'm not saying there's 10.
but
I'm not saying
I'm
there's
also
one.
not
I'm not saying
saying
there's
that
10
there's
in England.
multiple.
Maybe in the world, yes, but in England, I don't know if there's 10 potentials of men that I could marry. Like,
Okay, and what are you guys basing that on? You're saying that
I'm
there's
basing
no
it
way
off-
you can vibe with 10 men.
I'm basing it off my preferences. I'm basing it off what I want in a partner and just compatibility. That's what I'm basing it off.
I don't know. I don't agree.
In England.
If I speak about the men,
England.
If I speak 1,000,000%. If I speak about the men that I've spoken to in my life, there's been men that you can see, okay, we vibe and we do well together. That's because you don't believe that there's no way one guy can tick all your boxes.
No, we
in my
vibe, we do
opinion.
well together,
But you vibe, but does that- have you
for them,
looked at them and said
is that
they're the
are they
right
the one
person?
because you vibe and they do
No,
you
obviously
do well
vibe
together?
sounds very shallow.
No,
I don't
I know
mean
what you're
shallow
trying to
like that, but I'm
say,
saying
but
I
you
know what
get
you're
along,
saying.
like you're
like,
compatible in that
you can
sense.
see, you can foresee something happening coming out.
Maybe
of the
because do you know what it is? Maybe because I just
I think the way I hold right person is
Yeah.
I think it links back.
Yeah.
Disney,
I also think
not Disney. It's not even Disney. It's not even Disney.
Can I say something? Yeah. I think you guys' opinion links back to our Sierra episode about Russell Wilson.
Right.
I think it's about packaging as well, because I saw a tweet and it really exemplified this point. Yeah. Someone said there's no more lover boys in the UK, and then somebody said there are lover boys, they're just not in the right packaging. They said the packaging is higgy.
Yeah, they are lover boys.
They
Why
said the
would you-
packaging is higgy, and I think that's the problem.
guy-
When you have a certain aesthetic you're looking for, you have a very cookie cutter shape of what you want your man
Right.
to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's obviously never going to be 10
That's
men.
why I said potential.
Impossible.
That's why I said
But if you're
compatibility. That's why I said-
But if you're more willing to be
And
open to how
open-minded.
your package comes, then of course there can be 10 people.
Okay, so you know how we said we're talking about the one?
Yeah.
So can the one just, so that means what you're saying is the one might not potentially be your type.
Huh?
What do you mean?
No, do you get what
No,
I'm
I
saying?
get what you're
I don't
saying.
know.
Because
So
I've heard some people say that. I've heard people who have gotten married,
Yeah.
and they've said that their soulmate wasn't like their type.
Their type, like the person, for example, I have the perfect idea of what my type is. So basically, what you're saying
So
is,
basically
the one you might not be.
I think your person could
Be what you're
at the
looking
beginning
for.
not be who your type was. 1,000,000%. What
That happens.
What?
Facts,
That
no
happens
facts.
a
I'm
lot of the
I'm
time.
agreeing.
And that's why
happens a
I
lot
always
of the
tell
time.
people on this podcast, never make your type an idol, because you'll find somebody that you actually maybe should be with, and because you're so in bondage to your type, you don't give them a
You
chance.
miss out on
Do you
a
know
good
what?
thing.
I think do you know what it is? Maybe it's a me problem, innit? I always I'll find the faults.
You find faults in people.
Yeah. No,
but
I'm
it's
not even
honest.
gonna.
Yeah,
Do you
it's honest,
do you know what I mean? Like I find like.
I think I'm just very
Maybe I am
open.
Disney, I guess.
think I'm just more open to.
I just want God to build
She
him.
joined me.
That's
I
the thing.
guess.
I just think I'm very open to how the package comes. I don't mind.
Wow.
Whatever. Like
Fair
you
enough.
guys know I don't have a type. Like I'm very just.
You do have a type, but you're a bit more like you're a bit more open.
Like, and mine are always
And
more. My emphasis is always more on the character than the look.
Yeah.
'Cause I think if your emphasis is more on character, there's obviously going to be men of character outside,
Mm-hmm.
but how they look is dependent. Like
It depends. I know, facts.
But
But
there'll
10
always be
men in this England.
What? Tell me what you think that we're not in hell yet. God forbid, never.
But
yet.
if they're
We're not in
yet,
hell yet, who's joining you?
I'm
there?
not
You're
going there with nobody.
But I'm saying we're not in hell. As in,
I know.
It hasn't gotten to the apocalypse yet.
No, of course.
I mean, there's men.
10 men.
But I would like the
Wow, you guys are here. Your standards are here.
No, don't say that. No, I don't want you to
there's
say
nothing wrong-
that.
There's nothing wrong with
I don't want you to. It's not even like it's
For me, it's not
there.
even
Because
about.
it's not that my standards are here.
For
Yeah,
me,
no.
it's not even about type. It's just 10 men that resonate with my spirit. Like,
And I can potentially marry them. Like I look at him and be like, this could be my husband in England.
100%.
This same country I live in.
100.
It's
Do you
something
know-
to think about.
Do you know why? Because you guys are forgetting.
No, it's something to
You
think
guys
about.
are forgetting the beauty of humanity and how God has made human beings so diverse. Like, but only talking with scope of the men maybe we've encountered. You know, you're not thinking about the.
I'm
men
actually thinking
outside
quite
of-
broad. I'm thinking in terms of race. I'm thinking
Are
in terms.
you?
I am. No, I am.
You will be rattled if you meet somebody that isn't your tea, but they tick every single.
Of course, that's what they're saying.
Then that's not ticking every single box.
Because you don't know, some people come in different shapes. And
That's nice. I'm very
that's
much
what we're saying,
appreciating that.
essentially.
I'm appreciating that. But if you're really ticking all the boxes, why would they
You
not
look
come
how
in my
you- that's
form?
what they. That's how they think.
But there are some women that get with guys that aesthetically work.
Yeah, then that's not their type either.
As long as that first box isn't ticked, you're not looking any further.
No, I'm not saying that at all. At the end of the day, I don't think I'm ever going to find someone that ticks all my boxes, but the important ones have to be ticked.
So physical attraction is important.
Of course, Of course, physical attraction is important.
I think physical attraction is very important.
It's very
but I
important.
also
It's not the
think-
end all be all,
I
of
also
course, but
think
you have to be
people-
attracted to the person you're
people
dating.
put
No,
too much
come on.
emphasis. I think people put physical attraction number one, and I don't think it should be number one.
It's not number one.
I don't think it should be number
No,
one.
it's not number one. It can't be number one. That
For a
doesn't.
lot of
Where's the
people, They'll
substance?
say it's not number one, but it is
but it
number
actually
one.
is.
Yeah, but it
Why-
shouldn't
do you know
be.
Why it's not, do you know why it's number one for you? Do you know it's number one for a lot of people and they lie to themselves that it's not? If he's not cute to you on that first day you meet him, it's already over. You haven't even thought about it.
Or your friend has even said, "Oh, he's not really and good looking."
But can I?
and you've
Okay,
taken
but
that
guys,
as,
okay, you got to put more context in that one, because if he's not cute and you've not had a conversation with him,
Yeah, then that's okay.
that's different. If
Yeah.
you've had, I'm not gonna lie, if you've had a conversation with him and he's not cute and you're still saying, "Oh, I'm not gonna speak to him now," then it is based
Actually,
on
it's
looks.
not
That's
even
a
that-
problem.
it's not even that it's not-
If
he's
you
not
guys
cute, it's just
gel
not what
really
you wanted.
right, if you guys gel really well based on the conversation and the looks maybe is a bit questionable to you, you're telling me, I'm sorry, you're not gonna, if you're not gonna speak to him, then fair enough because of that. But
It's gonna affect if that's what you're interested in. If that's what's important to you, it's gonna affect.
Of course.
that's what I'm
'Cause you'll
saying.
be- as in we said in our last episode, you'll be fighting to convince yourself to like them.
Yeah, but I get that, but I'm saying that shouldn't be the case. Obviously, we shouldn't put physical
It shouldn't be number
appearance
one.
on that much of a high spectrum that you can't actually have a conversation. Like the conversation is going so well, you guys are very compatible. You can see it,
He's even wise.
and,
He's intellectual.
and you're just not gonna
You're
carry
building
on. You're
jelly.
gonna,
Gelling, but
perspectives, but because
of the looks,
he doesn't, because
at least
he's
give it.
1
At least
inch
give it
off
another
6,
chance.
because he's 6'3" and not 6'4".
I know.
There's
No, but that's
babes.
how some some people do
Because
that.
That's
he,
crazy.
because
That is mad. That is
He's
mad.
saying he's 6'3" and he's actually 6'2", so, or he's actually 6'4", and you bring him off because you.
And I'm
He's
saying when
6'3".
you make your type an idol, you'll be sad.
And you're gonna be single for a
you'll
long
literally
time.
be either you'll be single for a long time or you'll just be in aesthetically pleasing relationships that have no substance
Facts.
for the
Zero
rest of
substance.
your
It's so
life.
interesting because why do you lot always talk about not
Who?
settling?
Tanu lot. Who's the lot?
As a gender.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, it can be anything. I also think. Sorry, babe. Yeah.
No, come in. No, come in. We love this.
We love
So we want
it.
to hear her.
But yeah,
Yeah, no, I think.
you can settle in the looks department. Yeah, you can settle.
I actually think settling, the term settling, maybe this is going to be controversial. I don't think there's anything wrong with settling. Depends what you're settling for.
What do you mean by settling?
That's the thing as well. Let me Google what settling is.
Because
Google what settling
what,
means.
can I say something? Do you know why I asked that?
Dealing with something that does not meet that standard.
Right. Do you know what I've noticed when people talk about the word settling? I feel like people have different ideas of what settling is. That's one thing I've noticed.
Very
because
subjective.
some people, very subjective. Some people think settling is basically just like eventually just finding someone and just
People think
doing whatever.
Some people think it means going to the gutter to go and get the person.
Do you know what I mean? But others, but for real. But other people, when you use the word settling, they genuinely just see, I found the love of my life. I've settled. Like I'm not in the game anymore. So that's why I'm asking. What do you guys settling down? What do you guys?
Settling down is different from settling.
But people mix them. Let's be honest. People mix and match. Yeah, people.
Settling,
they do that all the time.
In like the conversations we hear and the rhetoric we see, settling typically usually means
it's not. It's a negative.
It's negative. You're going for less than what your standard is, or you're going for less than what you deserve.
And so why did you say that?
And I don't think it's because the definition to settle is to resolve or reach an agreement about.
So compromise.
It's a compromise. It's to come to yourself. It's to come to a decision. Sorry, within yourself that, you know what, this might not be as important as I thought it was to me, and I can accept this. That's all settling is.
Yeah, in that context, it makes sense.
And that's how I view settling. I might have one day thought I was going to be with a guy that looked like this. He must. But then one day I realised that's not that important. That's settling, but it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's not negative.
But unfortunately, people don't see it like that.
Obviously, if you genuinely hold it dear to you, like say, for example, we're Christians. If for us, it's very important to date someone who's also Christian.
Yeah, of course.
But then you meet someone who ticks all your boxes, but he's just not a Christian.
That's a negative type of settling.
For us, it would be. For
Yeah.
Not in general, if you're a Christian,
in general, it should be. But for some people, it's just like,
There's certain things you shouldn't compromise on. 1 million%.
Exactly.
So basically,
It's those things that you shouldn't compromise on that people refer to as
settling.
Exactly. There you go. Look at us.
Powerful. We preach.
We're doing the
Everybody
damn thing.
preach.
Everybody preach. But that's
No,
facts,
for real.
because I hate that, because the way people will just be dragging each other on socials. Oh, this person is settling.
Oh,
they're settled.
Or when you see
Da-da.
like a girl, for example, say like she's posted like an anniversary picture, and you see she's posted a picture of her and her boyfriend, and then people are like, oh, she's settled. Why is she with him? Blah 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 blah. Like, how can you?
You know that's wicked.
It's horrible.
And all that comments is based on physical aspects.
Physical. You do not know what that man is. You don't know how he's pouring. Exactly. They're always single.
single and bitter.
You don't know how that man is pouring into her life. You don't know anything. You don't know anything.
But because of how they look, because she looks pretty, and
That's
because
what you put it down
you've
to.
just decided she's settled.
Ludicrous. No, it is.
No, that's mad.
It's horrible. And that's why you made a good point in the way people use the term settling. You're just
wrong.
throwing it out anywhere, anyhow. You don't even know what you're saying.
There's a difference between settling and like accepting trash. Like as in,
That.
you've once had high standards for yourself and now you have low standards for yourself. That's completely different.
That's
from
a
settling.
different.
That's not what we're talking about.
No.
And let's use
because
sense.
someone said it on TikTok one day, and they were like, settling is not always a bad thing, and it's true because a lot of the time women, when they're like in their early 20s, they have a certain ideal. They're not getting married. This is not a problem. Obviously, this is not to shame. Like they're not getting married because maybe the criteria was somehow they get to a certain age, and it's time. It's a crossroads. You're 25. Make your decision, because more often than not,
She said crossroads, you're
the
25.
singleness can follow you.
Always here, it's like, I feel like, I think the basis of settling is obviously compromise. There's certain things you're not going to compromise on, and that's just that. And some people are very wishy-washy, they don't know what they can compromise on, so they don't compromise on anything.
Right.
That's why it's like settling. But I also wanted to mention, when, as you just mentioned, a lot of women that are like 20 to 25, 20 to even 27, 28, a lot of people thinking about getting married, it's not even a thing. And then you get to a certain part, you get to like 27 or 28, 29, and the aunties are saying,
When
will you marry?
you have too many standards. You have to bring it out.
But that's their language.
No, but facts.
But they're kind of right. Small. Not the ones that tell you to accept nonsense.
You have to be able to compromise.
Yes.
If you want to get that marriage, I guess. But I think it depends on how much these things actually mean.
100%.
And how much you value them.
To know yourself before you start doing this, heading into marriage.
It's true.
And that's why you need
That's
to know
true.
the standards that you're setting for yourself. You need to know why you have those standards. You need to know.
Exactly.
Those standards actually yourself.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. You need to know the things you're willing to compromise on. If you're not willing to compromise on certain things, be true to them. By God's grace, the person will come along. But it can't be every single thing on your list that you're not willing to compromise on.
At all.
At the
You
end
don't
of the
wanna
day,
budge.
you're going to be disappointed. You
Yeah.
will be.
Life will shut. Like you'll be stunned,
You'll be humbled.
humbled. Life
Very
will humble you.
Very, very.
Because
quickly.
guys, okay, obviously we're like mid-20s now. In when, let's say when like 19, 18, 20, let's even go as far as 20, the standards that you had in terms of like your ideal guy, has it changed in terms of what you can compromise
That's
on?
a very good question.
That's a great question.
By the way, Joe, move that mic so when you guys want to talk, so we can hear it. Just like put in the just throw it over there to you guys.
Because obviously, let's put it in context with us. Like, do you know what I mean? Because we've been speaking about it,
you know your
right?
answer. I don't know my answer yet.
I don't have a standard at that age. Only for me now, growing up, that I actually have a standard now.
I think that's what I would say as well, and that's based off of insecurities. It's based off of insecurities. Like I knew the standard that I should have had, but what I was accepting and the actions, it wasn't matching up.
No.
So therefore I could easily say that I didn't have.
No, but when
you can know what you should be accepting, and you can be
that's not the question. I don't mean like the guys you went for. Fair enough, like we were silly. We all went, like not all of us, but do you know what I mean? But what I mean is the standards that you actually had in your head. Has it changed? The things you wanted at that time, as it in a man, has it changed now that you're 25?
Yeah, mine had. Yeah, no, mine.
Drastically, but I don't think I really like. When I'm being genuine, like I actually did not know what I wanted.
You didn't know, when you were younger.
I did not know what I feel like I did, but in the grand scheme of things, not deep.
Like looking back, you're
the idols. Like I remember being like 21, 20. All I wanted to do was be a doctor. That was the main promise.
Yeah.
And I obviously wanted to get married, have a family. etc.
Did you have an idea of what attributes you want your husband to have?
Fair enough.
Only now I thought about that stuff. It's like, okay,
I'm getting older. Yeah.
I actually want to start.
No, I don't think it's really changed.
And I think if I did have an idol, it would have been very superficial.
Right.
Like, it would have been, the main thing would have been, he has to be something like
That's why I asked. Because I want to see what the difference is.
It depends.
It's always just been like my checklist is very much an internal, it's value system.
That's
Same,
why I
mine's
say
always
it
been
hasn't
that.
changed. I can't lie to you. Mine hasn't
Obviously,
changed.
There have been hiccups where
Yeah, of course.
The hickey delight.
yeah.
Of course.
We're human. That
I don't think
happens.
it's changed in terms of I wouldn't somebody that's going to be loyal, somebody that's going to treat me nice, somebody that's generous, somebody that's patient. So, do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of that, I don't think the list has changed.
Yeah. Mine hasn't changed.
And
can't
I
lie
think
to
that
you.
has to obviously do with how we were brought up, what we've put
Great
value on
point.
from a young
Yeah.
age and stuff like that.
That contributes.
Growing up for me, dating wasn't a thing.
Do you get?
I wasn't allowed to.
None of us were allowed.
We still did it anyway.
Reals.
Literally.
So to answer your question for me, I think mine is basically the same.
Yeah.
One, because I've never really had a type ever. Like just because I think when you grow up ugly, yeah.
my God.
Let's talk. Obviously, you'll know what I'm saying when you hear it. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. Obviously, I wasn't ugly, but as in when you grew up in school, you was not the person that was considered admirable. You start to place value on the
Other
character things earlier in life than other babes do, and I noticed that from a very young age. Like from when I was in year 7, and like the pretty girls, that's all they were talking about is being pretty, having your hair looking like this. And those were things that I was not in the conversation. I was focused. I was funny. I knew that I was funny. Those were the things that I loved about myself. Or you're this, you're a good person. Those are the things that were. Do you get what I'm saying? So those are the things I started to place value on from early. So that's why when I knew the kind of guy I wanted, I knew the value system I wanted in the man. So for me, it's not that it would change drastically now that I'm 25. Maybe my perspective and how to identify those type of men has changed. Because obviously when you're younger, you don't know how to identify that.
No.
More time a man showing interest to you when you're young, and obviously you have no perspective on what men are.
Oh, come on.
You just be there, your eyes open, you're just there. But then as you get, when I'm 25, I know when a man is pretending, when he's, do you get
serious.
And I think for that, I really resonate with it because I feel like I didn't grow up desirable. So for me, it was even at that point as well. It was just like any attention is good attention.
Sister,
It's dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
Things like anything.
It's true though what you said though. You start to place value on other things
early.
and that's why now.
That's what I wanted. That's why I asked that question, because I wanted to see the difference in what you're placing value on. Not listening to everybody else, it hasn't changed. Of course, there's certain things I'm more likely to compromise on that I wasn't even trying to compromise on before. But the reason do you know what I was trying to figure out in asking that question? Because obviously, what we all said about growing up and getting older, like our auntie saying, "Oh, you need to let that go," you know, that kind of thing. Like, do you ever feel like you're gonna have to do that? Basically,
No.
No, never. God
I don't
forbid.
think I'm gonna let myself. I drama.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's
I
my.
think there's certain things on the list that
I was having a conversation with one of my friends. He's a guy, and he was like, "Oh, obviously he knows older women. So let's say like 30 plus." And he was telling me, "Oh, tell me when you reach 30, don't worry. Like, obviously, let's just say you're single or whatever, God forbid, but." Because I don't want to be, but let's just say it happens. Life happens. Whatever. Let's say you're 30 and there's no one there. I promise you, some of the things that you're holding in such a high hierarchy would not be the case at 30, because that's the same thing that's happened with a lot of these women. You know?
You know what's crazy? He's right for a lot of babes, but for me, I don't have those things. Because
what are those things?
Those things are packaging. Most
Okay.
of those things,
Like what packaging? Like
I'm not gonna lie
what?
to you, it's how the guy looks. A lot of those things are tied to aesthetics,
Okay.
and maybe tied to ego, and also tied to a bank account, like a financial thing.
Financial status, yeah.
I think those are main things they're tied to, and for me, those are not things I'm very like
focused on.
I don't know how to
Do you
explain
know what it is?
So that's why
Literally having this, I'm learning a lot, because when I was
you have to wiggle
maneuver.
room.
Yeah.
When I was 20, obviously I didn't know, like, I didn't really have an idea of a perfect man, but there were certain things that I knew I wanted in the guy, but having conversations with friends and obviously being older and experienced or whatever, there are certain things that I thought, okay, maybe that's not important anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't care about that stuff.
Like, sorry, bro, go on.
No, go on. No, speak, babe, breathe.
Guys, can you bring us on the board?
Wait, come on, come sit down, come now.
Not today. They won't do it today.
I know. Not today. Might as well.
I think when you get to 30 as well, and based on how society is, and especially that African background, you start to become a bit more desperate.
Hey,
I was trying to avoid that word, but if we're
No, what's wrong with him?
And it's like, okay, guys, let's
what is it? Do you have a cold?
about being desperate in a negative.
yeah, I hear what you're saying, loud and
Generally,
clear.
You are a bit more desperate.
Yeah.
Can I be honest? I'm struggling to see desperate in a positive light. But you're right.
Let's think about how it says it in the dictionary. You're getting a bit more desperate. So
Right.
naturally, you're gonna let go of some of those
100%.
And at 30, life looks different.
Right.
It's not the same how it was at 25, where you have, enjoy. Obviously, you're still gonna enjoy it when you're 30, but when you're 25, it looks
Yeah.
different.
So
There was no
let's not put a
responsibilities.
negativity on
let's not do
30.
that. 30, it's not.
30,
you're not
yeah.
gonna die.
Just be
you're
real.
good.
No,
You're gonna be
absolutely
more
not.
than good.
Absolutely
And
not.
life
That's why-
will look different.
And just a word of warning: don't let it be 30 that you're pushed to the wall. Be
Wow.
thinking now when you're in your 20s how you can be a more reasonable somebody. That's what I would say, because if you're waiting till you're, as in, it shouldn't be 30 that or 35 that's pushing you to the wall. Then you're accepting anybody. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that's when you've pushed it to, as in, you're literally on the wall. You're dying on the line.
I'm dying.
Literally dying.
The work you were meant to do, you didn't do it, and now you're trying to.
wedding, you're at the front trying to catch the bouquet.
Ayo, don't take it that far.
No, but she's right.
I got a point.
No, but facts.
No, because that's real. Like, even like, because a couple of my friends are married, innit? Because I have older friends.
Yeah, you be going weddings.
As in, my friends are married, and like, what I've seen is that the ones that had their priorities straight earlier, they get married earlier. The people that maybe
Absolutely.
place significance on certain things,
Yep.
the marriage might be later, and that's okay if that's what you want.
If that's what you wanted, then that's
Nobody,
okay.
I don't know if anybody wanted that second option, but still, whatever you give.
I think you're
yourself,
screaming.
Let me.
You're screaming in my ear.
Never the devil's advocate.
Don't let the devil use you.
Yeah, never the devil's
You need
advocate.
priorities in the sense of getting your career where you want it to be, or
Anything. So I personally think as well, people are too focused on the finished article of like, oh, I need to be making this amount before I can get married. I need to have this before I get married.
Basically what we said earlier.
Specifically, men have that. Or even women do defo have it. Yeah, women. There's and I think,
But the pressure is different.
In our generation,
The pressure is different.
Marry me now. I'm ready.
marry me now.
As in now, I'm
23,
ready.
Let's go.
I'm ready.
Do you know what? We've had a whole topic on that before, and I feel like you explained like your
I've been ready
opinion
since-
on that.
I've been ready since I was 21.
That one I can't agree with that
And
one.
Do you know what's crazy as well about the the thing about marriage. I think people make marriage seem so not unattainable, but they make it seem like, okay, you need to be this perfect person to get married.
Of course you can't. You don't need to be.
It's just not realistic.
It's not realistic. You don't need to be this perfect person, but I can understand why you want to obviously work on yourself before you find that person. And working on yourself can mean different things. It can look different for different people.
It links back to our prior points about, like, you're always going to be growing.
Absolutely.
So whether it's now you want to grow or it's in your marriage you want to grow, you're gonna grow regardless.
Absolutely. It never stops.
It's more about your
But there are certain work that you definitely need to do alone.
It's self-awareness.
Do you know what I mean?
If you have good self-awareness earlier in life, you can get married.
No, absolutely.
I think people make marriage seem like this thing. It's scary. I'm not gonna be a wife.
I think this mentality of getting into a relationship and my life is done.
Exactly. It's problematic.
That's what's stopping a lot of people too.
The statement of getting in the relationship now is like leaving the party at 7 p.m. And then when you wonder why when you get to 30 you're now everybody's married.
When did you want it to happen? Between 27 and
the chairs, the table is in the van.
Party locker.
It's shifted even.
No,
it's really your mindset.
Okay, you see what you said about, like, so what if the person comes now, you're ready
right now? Well, I'm dying.
Really, Ashley, if like you lot are ready,
yes,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, do you know why? Because this is the thing.
I'm in the middle. Do you
know why I say?
Not to say that the wedding is gonna happen tomorrow.
No, of course, but you're ready, like, to be with them forever.
Do you know why I could say I can get married now? Because I'm aware that marriage is not the end of life.
Of course,
marriage is just another new beginning.
I agree with that, but I still don't know if I'm 100%.
Because you see the title of wife as very, like, I don't know how to explain it.
No, I absolutely want to be somebody's wife.
No, I'm not saying that you don't want to be. I'm saying you see it as so big.
It is big.
It's big, but I just see it as another stage of life.
It is.
I was once my daddy's daughter.
Yeah, but
soon
now
I'll then be somebody's wife
forever.
Yeah.
So it is. It's a different stage of life. Yeah. But let's not minimize it to the point.
I'm not minimizing it.
I don't think you're minimizing it, but I think the way you see it might be slightly different because you've just said how I see it. Because this is forever. This is actually forever. So that's why some people have this. That's why some people have this whole. That's why you got to think about it properly because it is actually forever.
Yeah.
So I get it.
I see.
You don't want to rush into it.
I kind of see it as like the same way I'm very
like if they're gonna be for me, why are we rushing? Really and truly.
That's true, but also this is what I was gonna say. This is how I see it different because I'm the same with my friends. I'm very particular about who I call my friends,
right?
Because my friends are
forever.
By God's grace are forever too.
Facts.
So why am I gonna wait till I'm 30 till I say, I'm gonna have my secure group of friends?
That one's different because you're not making vows in the presence of God.
But they influence your life.
No, I'm not disputing
that. They're the people that you're gonna then call your children's godparents. They're the people. Do you know what I mean? They're
gonna help
of course.
Kids.
Friendship is also something very heavily influential.
Absolutely.
To your life. And I see relationships as like they all feed into each other. It's all like communities.
But do you know what it is? They're just different types of relationships.
They have different weights.
They have different weights. That's what I'm trying to say. And let's be honest, as human beings, when our emotional feelings are involved in terms of like liking someone and loving someone, there's always a different side. Do you know what I mean? We're very vulnerable to a different extent that we can't be with our friends. So with that one, people are just a bit more careful, or they just want to take their time a little bit more. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. And
so
this has been interesting.
In
being careful though, you sometimes talk yourself
out of it. Yeah, absolutely.
You say, I'm not ready.
Do you know?
Not knowing that you're gonna become. You're gonna continue becoming and becoming.
Do you know what? And this is why it's always good to know yourself and the sort of attributes and personality that you have. You know, the perfect man could be standing right in front of me, and I will talk myself out of it.
Yeah,
I'll be like, no, there's something.
Sabotage.
There is something. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna know what it is soon. Do you know what I mean? Like,
even if there's nothing, you'll find something, or you'll
hold on to horrible things. Or you do what you said earlier, you'll find faults.
Do you know what I mean? Don't worry. It's such a big deal that I'm actually praying about it because it's not really great to have. Do you know what I mean? And it's not just in terms of relationship and men and stuff, career wise as well, decisions that I've made, like when it comes to a new job, the perfect job could be there, and I'm just like, there's gonna what's do you know what I mean?
About this yesterday, literally with the new job I have now, I was talking to myself. I said, God, I was expecting God to do flashing light if I should go there. Do you know what I mean? I'm scared.
Yeah, remember we spoke about it on the pod.
I'm quivering in my boots to make my decision, and God is just there, like, you have the option.
Just
go.
Just go.
As in go, and I truly believe there was something Mike Todd said in a sermon one time, and he was like, if you're truly walking with God and you have a relationship with God, there's certain things you won't even need to pray about. I'm not saying prayer is not important. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying. Is that you'll have the wisdom of God already. Like he's imparted so much wisdom onto you, you're able to make good decisions.
You'll know.
Because you're led by the Spirit when you're moving. Whereas if you're just living life for yourself, you're just living life higgy-hagga, of course you're scared.
You're always going to be like in the balance. Because you have to remember every good thing comes from God. So if it's good, how can it not be from him? And what are you waiting for him to say?
And obviously your radar of good has to be under God's perspective. I'm not
talking about the world's good. I'm talking about what the Bible says what is good.
Do you get? So it's
facts.
I don't know how we got from right person, wrong time to here.
Yeah, I know. But let us know what you think in the comments down below.
What a very serious convo. I loved it.
And thank you to the people that are joining in the background. Soon in the episode.
You'll see their faces very soon.
Yes, you will.
This is our second to last episode, as we said. So we're giving you 2 powerful episodes as our last episodes of the season. And when we come back in like August, September time, we're coming with the heat.
Yeah, don't miss us too much, though.
Yeah. We'll see you soon.
Bye.